Hey guys, welcome to the Marking Out Network. I am Neal Thomas here with the one and only, the extremely talented Brooke Havok. Thank you for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, the first thing I got to ask you, the very first question, we're going to talk about a lot of different things here today. The first thing I'm going to ask you, you tweeted out earlier today, or was it maybe yesterday or something, that you cannot stop listening to the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
Yes, that is true. I'm
Now,
hooked.
okay, so I got to ask you this. It was the first movie, right? Is it the first movie?
So actually I've watched the first two like a few times, and then
Mhm.
actually the third one I've seen twice now, but yesterday I took like the whole time after I worked out to watch like all three consecutively. So I'm just like I'm hooked right now on Guardians.
Oh, okay, so you're a big fan then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I haven't seen the third one. I haven't seen the third one yet. I saw the
It's
first
so good.
two. Yes. I know it was getting rave reviews. It was really good. You have a particular song that you like from the soundtrack? The first one?
So I I've been
If you
really
can name,
hooked.
if you can't name them, that's fine. But
It was so most of the ones I've been listening to were the ones from like the third movie.
okay,
And it's like Creep by Radiohead, and then The Dog Days Are Over.
okay,
Those two I've been playing on repeat. And then also Mr. Blue Sky. That's a
okay.
great one from there too.
All right, that's really cool. Man, see, I wish I've seen the third movie. So do you typically watch all the Marvel movies? Are you into really superhero stuff, or is it just the Guardians, or do you go have you seen like Avengers and all that kind of stuff?
I'm actually like not super into Avengers and stuff like that. So I it's crazy that I like got so into Guardians, but I'm like a huge fan of Guardians and then like the Deadpool movies and stuff like that. Anything that has a lot of comedy in it
Okay.
is like where I like strive to.
No, no, that's really cool. Like I've seen all the Marvel movies. I've seen all the of yeah, pretty much all of them. I didn't see the last Thor movie. I haven't seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but I think I want to. I think I'll probably just hit it up when it's on Disney Plus or something like that. Um,
Yeah, it's definitely a must-see, I would say.
yeah, I did see the Deadpool movies. What about you fan of DC, Batman and Superman and all those
Not
guys?
really. I'll
No.
probably get some heat for that.
Wow. You could see what I'm holding up right here, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm not super into it. My dad and my sister, they're into
Okay.
all Marvel DC stuff. Like I know my dad had like all the Batman movies, like a whole like I don't know how many there are, but he had the whole thing set up. It
I
was
think me
great.
and your dad could probably be friends then because I'm super into Batman. So yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
definitely.
built a bat cave here, so but no, it's cool. If you're not everybody's into superheroes, and that's fine. But as long as you've seen a couple, Deadpool, I'm a big fan of, Guardians, I'm a big fan of. I wanted to ask you something. So there's other stuff that we're gonna talk about. I wanted to ask you, you recently were at a show, Queen of the Indies in San Francisco. That looked
Yeah.
like it was at West Coast Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Revolution, I believe.
Yeah, they both put
And
it together.
yes, actually that I saw some of the video and some of the matches, and you and Johnny Robbie, is that it? Defeated
Yeah,
Mac Daddy, Milo, and is it Rochelle Riveter, I
yes.
believe? Yeah, so I want to tell you congratulations on winning the match. I think that's pretty cool. How was that experience? Because Queen of the Indies, that's kind of a big deal, like getting being part of that show, right? Because I'm a big proponent of women's wrestling. So how was that experience? How did that feel? What was the crowd like? The atmosphere when you walked through that curtain? Like how did that play out for you? How did that feel?
Overall, it was like such a incredible experience and something that's like super cool to be a part of. The very first Queen of the Indies, everything that like was a part of that. Like all the wrestlers were incredibly good. There was female commentators, female refs, like
Yes.
the whole thing was like so dope to see. And then the crowd that came out there for like solely women's wrestling was pretty insane to see. And just overall, like there wasn't a bad match on that card. Everybody's just so incredibly talented.
No, that's again, like I said, I love women's wrestling, and when you have women announcing, female referees, all women's wrestling, I think that's great for the business. It's great for the sport, and I think it's tremendous. And I want to, I do want to see more of that kind of stuff. Just real quick, I won't bore you here, but me and my friend I do the podcast with, we had an idea for a wrestling promotion, all women's wrestling promotion. Don't ever know if they'll get off the ground, but I just wanted to ask you how well, or how that experience was at Queen of the Indies was, because I think it's fantastic, and I want to see more shows like that too, especially talented people like you. I mean, there's like a whole crop of women's wrestlers that you feel like need to be highlighted and elevated, and I think that'd be tremendous to see. And I hope it's, was that the Queen of the Indies? Was that the first show like that? Because I really don't know. Or is this going to be like an annual thing, or what do you know about that?
Yeah, that was the very first Queen of the Indies.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a yearly thing through
Okay.
West Coast and Pro Wrestling Revolution. So
Okay.
definitely look forward to more of those.
Gotcha. No, that's great. So that happened in what? That was just a few days ago. So it's going to be an annual thing in May.
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so.
Okay. Cool. Now there's another thing that when I'm talking to, other people like in the business, other wrestlers and stuff like that, I'm always intrigued by what got them in the business, because I know, coming from me as a fan, that there was always this one point that in my life that triggered my love affair for professional wrestling. I remember I was like 3 years old, 4 years old, and I saw Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3, some long, long fucking time ago, right? And that got me kind of into professional wrestling. Now, I know you are making a career being a professional wrestler. What was that moment that kind of, maybe the light bulb that went over your head, or something that made you feel that itch, that want, that desire, that need to become a professional wrestler? Because a lot of people think about it, but it's one thing to think about it, but then actually do it. So what was that one moment, if you can kind of pinpoint it, like not only be a fan, but become a professional wrestler and make a living doing it?
Yeah, so when I was like 7 years old, around that time, my older brother actually introduced me to pro wrestling, and he took me to shows and stuff like that in Fresno and San Jose. And just from there, like me and my younger brothers were just like hooked watching it all the time. We didn't have cable, so my brother just had like a whole huge collection of DVDs and stuff. So that's like all we watched, and we like tried to imitate the moves and stuff. And then we also played like SmackDown versus Raw 2007, 2008, and we would
Those are the
just sit
best
on like,
games. Yeah.
yeah, we would sit on general manager mode, and we would just each would get SmackDown, Raw, ECW, and just go crazy. Um, but yeah, growing up, I that was like always in my head that I wanted to. There was two things. It was either be a rock star or be a pro wrestler. So as like little Brooke, those are her two things, and I never really, like, once I got older, I obviously wasn't very musically inclined. I just really like
Okay.
listening to music and stuff. So that wasn't really like a tangible thing. And I never really knew that I could actually make a career out of pro wrestling. And so I just like started seeing more local wrestling around me in the Bay Area. There wasn't a lot, but I started seeing more independent wrestling, and I was like, I guess maybe like it can actually be a tangible thing. And then I saw Cody had posted his applications for his new school on Facebook. And I was like, there's no chance they're going to pick this girl that has zero experience from California, but let's just throw our name in there. So I filled out the application. And like a few weeks later, I got a call, and they were telling me that I was invited to go out there. And I literally only had a month to pack up all my stuff, my whole apartment into a storage unit and just drive across the country and figure it all out.
Oh wow, that's actually a really great story. Were you shocked by getting like the call back and saying, "Hey, come out"? Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I was actually on my lunch break, and so I was just sitting in my car, and I got that call, and I literally like teared up. I was like, "This is so crazy." I wasn't expecting to get this opportunity at all. So it was definitely such a surreal moment for me.
Oh wow, that's actually great. I think I would probably be like in shock and like can't believe it. Is this really happening? I can't believe this is going to be something that I actually can actually pursue. Now, when you said you wanted to be a professional wrestler and I'm sure you told your family and friends, what did they say about that? Were they like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever, you that's something that's cute for now and you'll probably grow out of it?" Did you get a lot of support when you were saying you wanted a professional wrestler, or was it just she'll grow out of it and nothing's gonna come about it, or were they like, yeah, go for it?
It started as like, oh, like that's she's not actually gonna do that, or like there was a little bit of hesitation from like my family because I had like a really good job at the time, good pay, like benefits, all that stuff. So I was basically giving all of that away to chase this crazy dream where I didn't know if like I'd make anything out of it. So there was a little bit of hesitation, but once my family like realized like this is actually like what I want to do and I could actually make something out of it, I got like 100% full support from all of them. Like my mom is one of my biggest fans and they've all helped me out with this journey and everything. So I actually got really, really lucky to have such a great support system in my family.
That's great. I mean, that's the best thing you can ask for. If you have a family that's supportive and wants to contribute and help you and pursue your goals and your dreams, that's that's the ultimate. Because sometimes when you, and I do want to touch on this too, you did have an injury twice, two ACL tears. You had one, you had a quick recovery for the first one, and then the longer for the second. Now, when that happened, the first one, now, did you, I know you said this previously before, was there any doubt in your mind that you can make a comeback? Did you feel like maybe this is not in the cards for me? And especially when it happened the second time, was that even more put in your head like, man, maybe I just need to get a 9 to 5. This is not going to, maybe my body's not going to hold up. I know everybody thinks different ways, but did you feel like maybe this is not going to happen? And what kept you motivated? What kept you going to pursue being a professional wrestler despite the devastating injuries?
Yeah, so the first injury, so it was so fresh and I knew this there's like nothing else in the world that I'm supposed to be doing. So I was just like super stubborn and hard-headed. I was like, there's no way anything is gonna stop me from doing this. So those thoughts were like easier to like keep quiet and like in the back of my head. And then the second injury, it just like tore me apart. And there, although there was like a huge like amount of support online, there was still those few like little comments that dug at me that was like, oh, her body's not built for pro wrestling and stuff like that. So then like of course you start thinking and you're like, man, this is my second surgery. I'm only a year into it and already having to do two surgeries. So it definitely was a lot harder the second one. But with that being said, there was still such a crazy amount of support behind me from uh like other wrestlers or my coaches and stuff like that. And like a big one was actually like Cody. He still like reached out to me after that second injury, like every month or so. He would just check in, say, "Hey Brooke, how's everything doing? How's the knee?" And that definitely like kept me motivated and stuff. And both of my trainers have gone through like severe injuries themselves. QT with his neck and Cody with so many. Like obviously everybody's seen him with the pec injury and he's still
Yes.
wrestling. So having coaches like that is definitely like inspiring. So that was another thing that helped me get past those negative comments and stuff.
I mean, I agree with you 100% because especially when you're somebody that's in professional wrestling on television, you're making a name for yourself, and they're like, oh, she's not going to hold up, her body's going to give up on her. And I think it's important as to block out that negativity and think about the positive, because these people that talking crap about you, we could swear, by the way, we talking shit about you, is only gonna not gonna do you any good. It's only gonna prevent you from pursuing what you want to do in your life, whatever that case may be. And I think it's important. You did the right thing, is like block all that negativity out, not go down that severe rabbit hole of being negative and, with all the people online and stuff like that. And I think it's important too to block all that shit out. And you did the right thing. And I think it's important because you want to keep pursuing what you want to do. And one knee injury is hard. Two knee injuries is extremely hard. I broke my collarbone once. I was done for 3 months and I was freaking miserable. So I understand, maybe not as devastating as a knee injury, but I understand being hurt and not being able to go forward. And I just had a regular job. So, I mean, I can understand now. So kudos to you from bouncing back and coming back and being better than ever, because I know you're going to be better than ever. And I think in the end, it just serves as a learning experience. So congratulations for coming back. I respect the hell out of you for doing that, because a lot of people would have give up, but shows that you would continue to pursue it. That shows that you have a lot of heart. That's what I'm trying to get at. You have a lot of heart to continue to go forward.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It was definitely like you said, just those months of staying at home,
Yeah.
like not I in those first few, I still went to the gym because I would have gone absolutely insane if I didn't, but I had to have my brother, my boyfriend bringing me weights to the bench and stuff. I was still in crutches. So it was such an embarrassing thing to me because I had to rely on people so much, and it just like dug into my pride. And I was like, man, this really sucks. I never want to have to go through something like this again. But I made sure to take my time on the second one, because that first one I just was like, I'm coming back as soon as possible, and that's what caused the second issue. So I stopped being so stubborn the second time, and now I feel like I have two brand new knees, so we're good now.
No, that's great, because I mean, obviously your knees are everything, not only in professional wrestling, but in life in general. And it's extremely important. So, I mean, it's great to see you 100% back healthy again. And we're only you're only going to get better from here on out. I think sometimes Edge coming back and Brian Danielson coming back from injuries, they seem like it was a brief moment in time. They got through it and they powered through it. The doctor said they would probably never wrestle again. They came through with their recovery. It took them a lot longer than a few months, took them years to come back, but you came back and you're going to be better than ever. So I do want to ask you this too. So I know you have trainers like QT Marshall. You were in the Heart Dungeon with Natalia and TJ and Cody Rhodes, and you were trained by a lot of different people. Britt Baker as well. I know you wrestled Britt Baker. Now, who do you look at? I would say right now, who inspires you to be the best version of you? Who do you look to, like, this person, this wrestler? They don't even have to be a wrestler. Who do you look to that inspires you to keep you motivated? Maybe not to maybe follow this similar path, but who keeps you kind of going and you want to be almost where they're at right now?
I would definitely say like the first two that come to mind are like my coaches, because both of them they've had two totally separate journeys,
Okay.
but they've both gone through their own struggles to get there. And just seeing that is like super inspiring to me. Especially QT. He's had a crazy journey getting to where he's at, and he's worked so hard to get there. So that's definitely like somebody who inspires me a lot. And then who I would like also be inspired by on the women's side is somebody like Rhea Ripley, who just at such a young age was signed to the WWE and is
Yeah.
now just killing it and stuff like that. So those are a few of them.
I would ask you this too. So I've seen a couple of your matches. A weird one I came across was, did you wrestle a chupacabra or somebody like that that was dressed up?
Yes, I did
I
wrestle.
saw that match and I'm thinking, oh, that's a wild gimmick. Did you know going into that match who you were wrestling? Obviously, you probably knew who you were wrestling, but did you actually know to the extent of who this character was and what this person was about? Because I was like, I've never seen that before. I was like, you won the match, by the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
But uh, how was that experience? Because I know that was kind of unique. It was outside.
Yeah, that Chupacabra, he's great. He's somebody who's wrestled in the Bay Area for a long time,
Okay.
and he's just overall like such a incredible wrestler, and his character is so insane and fun and stuff like that. So that was definitely a really cool experience getting to wrestle with him. Such a like outrageous character. It definitely was different for me, but I had a lot of fun with it.
It was actually a pretty good match. I'll be honest with you. It was actually a pretty good match.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate it.
was, I was I was kind of just enamored with his gimmick. I was like, man, this is really interesting because I didn't when you have a gimmick like that, I was like, I don't really know to expect from this guy. Like, I don't know what he was gonna
Yeah.
do, but you held your own. You did fantastic, and I think you beat him with a was it a small package. It was a small package roll up, right? Something
Yeah, it
it's
was.
something like that. Yeah, no, it was great. Speaking of matches, do you have a favorite match of your career? I know you're very early on in your career. What's your favorite match that you've had so far? If you could pick one.
I would say probably my match with Masha at West Coast. That was a really fun one.
Okay.
Um, or a more recent one would be my match versus Anton at Hood Slam. That was a really fun. It was emo rules,
Okay.
so we had a little fun there. But he's just such an incredible wrestler as well. So that was a super fun match.
Oh, okay. No, that all good choices. I saw the one too with was it Marina Shafir? I think
Yeah,
that was a quick match, but it was actually you did really well. She's like really big and strong, and but she didn't push her around like I thought she would. But now you again you hold your own. You're like you're strong, you're tough, you're resilient. You come back and you just do fantastic. Um, Now I want to ask you this too. When it comes to your wrestling career, what is something that you would like? Because I know in professional wrestling, you always look to add a new move, a new weapon to your arsenal, a new maybe a gimmick change, maybe a wardrobe change. What's something that, when it comes to your career specifically, you want to improve on and kind of take it to the next level? Maybe in 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now. What's something that you want to improve on that you going forward?
my main goal right now is just to wrestle and make as many debuts as I can
Okay.
for the rest of the year. Wrestle as many countries as I can, as many states, and as many promotions as I can on the independent scene. So that's like my biggest goal right now.
Okay. No, that's actually really good because that was actually my kind of my follow-up question because you've been on tons of promotions, you've been doing, I mean, you've wrestled in quite a few just this year alone. And my my goal my goal was anytime I in a job or whatever I'm doing, I'm always looking to improve or trying to see what's the next thing for me personally. And so I know we're about halfway done with 2023. We're in June, almost in June now. What's the second half looking for you? What's some of your maybe specific goals you want to achieve by the end of this year? I know you said you want to wrestle a different lot of promotions, but do you have maybe a specific person you want to wrestle, a championship you want to go after, a specific type of match you want to do? What's something that you want to kind of end the year out with doing?
I would love to get to wrestle either Bert Vixen or Kylan King by the end of the year. Those are two that I've like really been wanting to get. So hopefully we get those. I've also wrestled in Canada, but I haven't wrestled in Mexico. So I really want
Oh,
to get those that one in there too.
Mexico. Okay. It's a different style, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Lucha Libre is different. It's a much more fast paced. uh kind of high octane match, a lot of off the top turnbuckle, off the ropes kind of stuff. That would be very interesting to see because that's a whole different style. That's like a whole different ball game. And I think, have you wrestled that kind of style before?
I've recently started wrestling at more like lucha libre promotions, and those are like some of the funnest times that I have
Oh,
wrestling. So I
okay.
think it would definitely be fun to get to wrestle somebody out there.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, no, that sounds great. And you mentioned Vert Vixen too. She just did a tour in Japan a few weeks ago, and she's coming back to the States. I mean, Vert Vixen's another one on the indie scene that's been killing it. So I can understand why you would want to match up with her. Uh Kylie King, she's another one that's incredible. So I can understand like those matches, those are the matches that I would like to see. And hopefully you can make that happen. So any promoters that's watching this podcast and video, obviously Brooke Havok wants to wrestle anybody and everybody. So you guys got to make that happen somehow, some way, because she's ready, she's willing and able to do it. So that's gonna be good to see. So
Hell yeah.
no, without a doubt, it's gonna be great. So when you're not wrestling or taking time off from training and just maybe hanging out, do you actually watch back your matches? Do you actually watch other promotions? Do you watch other wrestlers, or you just kind of separate that yourself from all of that? Or are you still into it? You're looking at matches, you're looking at ways to improve, or you just kind of taking a break, or is it kind of on your mind 24/7?
It's definitely on my mind. As much as I hate doing it, I do watch my matches back because like I just feel like I have to watch them back, even if like I don't necessarily want to. But I definitely do that and just find different areas that I need to improve on and uh like try to fix those things.
You said you hate watching him back, but isn't that a way to like learn, say from quote unquote mistakes or something you could have improved on? Because I to me, if I was a professional wrestler, I think I would watch my matches back the moment I got back behind the curtain. If there was like a monitor or something like that, I wish I could see it again. So do a lot of wrestlers watch their matches back, or is like once it's done, it's over with? I'm never gonna look at it again. Is that a common thing?
I know some people don't like ever watch their matches back. It's like a huge thing where you'll like have a certain feeling about the match, but then you'll go watch the match and like nitpick every little thing that you see. So then it kind of like leaves a negative experience from that match. So it's like a give and take with that, I feel like.
Okay, so if you walk back in the curtain and Brooke Havoc just had what in your mind you thought it was a 5-star match, you're like, man, that was fan fucking tastic. And then you look back at it and you're like, it wasn't as great as I thought it was. And then you're nitpicking. I was like, I should have did this better. I should have did this better. So by the time you get to the end of the match, you're like, well, that 5-star now feels like a 2-star match. So is that why I think most wrestlers, you just said it, most wrestlers probably don't watch it back because you do nitpick and all that kind of stuff. And I can see that point of view as well, because in that moment you thought it felt good, but then when you start looking at it, you're like, it probably
It could
wasn't
even
as
just be
good.
like one bad thing, and you're like, oh my God, that was the worst.
What do you do like in your free time? Do you said you watch movies, you did used to say you played basketball, right?
Yeah, I played basketball a lot, like throughout middle school and high school. So
Yeah.
I do. My older brother also got me into that. So I'll go like hang out with him, and we'll play one on one. He always beats me, but if we're playing like horse or something, I could get a couple wins on him. But yeah, that's the other thing that like I do besides wrestling and the gym.
Okay. No, I love basketball too. That basketball is one of my all-time favorite sports. I love basketball. I play with my partner in crime here all the time. But no, basketball is a good way to build up cardio, get your exercise up, and all that kind of stuff. I love basketball. What's some other things you into? Are you into art? Are you into, I don't know, graphic design? Like what's some other aspects of you that you kind of separate yourself from professional wrestling that you're into?
I'm not like super artistically inclined, but I do like drawing up like different sets of gear and stuff. I don't always like get them, or like I'll draw up gear for like my boyfriend or my friends and stuff. So
Okay.
that's like a thing I like to do. But I'm not like artistic or anything. I just like drawing up gear and stuff.
So you draw up the gear for yourself. Like this is like, hey, I feel like this looks good. I'm gonna draw this up and hopefully I can get it made. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I actually got like two sets of gear that I drew up, and like, even though I'm not the best at drawing, but I drew them up and they made them exactly how like I drew it, and I love the gears now.
Oh, okay. Do you go to specific, like, do you go to one person to make your gear or do you kind of shop around?
I've had two gear makers so far. One was somebody in the area. She actually reached out to me first, wanting to make
Okay.
gear, and she's incredible. She's just like more busy now, so I worked with like one other person that makes a lot of people's gear on the indies. Her name is the Lucha Lady. She did a really good job on my two new sets of gear.
Brittany Brooks mentioned her too.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, the same. I was like, that name sounds really familiar. I was like, Brittany Brooks, and in the interview I did with her, she mentioned that same one. So obviously she does fantastic work because it seems like everybody goes to her. And I know she has a quick turnaround time too. Like she makes a lot of gear for a lot of different indie wrestlers. So I was like, she sounds like she's great. But yeah, that's great. Because when it comes to wrestling, watching wrestlers perform, the first thing you notice is their gear, like what they come out with. And your gear is fantastic. It suits the look that you're going for, the black and all that kind of stuff. It's it represents, I think, who you want to be in the wrestling ring. It looks fantastic because I couldn't see you in, like, obviously you wouldn't wear pink or purple or anything
Yeah.
like that. So I think that black, it goes perfect, perfect for you. But I'm a big proponent of gear. And you are the emo queen too. So obviously that gear has to represent that moniker and that name, and I think it does well. So hopefully you can actually draw more and get the gear implemented too, because hopefully you're gonna get some big matches, big shows, and obviously you're gonna have fresh gear, and hopefully that's gonna work out. Now you don't know how to sew or anything like that, do you? Because I don't. I'm terrible at that stuff. Maybe one day you could probably even try to make your own gear. Maybe that's something you could try to attempt. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not great at sewing or anything, but I did actually make my very first jean jacket that I wore out. It was like a cut-off jean jacket, and I like distressed some of it and I dyed it black because it was like a regular jean color. And then I can't sew, so I ironed on all my patches, but it worked for the time. And I added like some studs to it. But
Okay.
yeah, that's the extent to my gear making.
No, that's actually pretty good. Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still have it. I wear it sometimes, just not as often. Also, like my new jacket that I got, I actually drew up that design too, and the girl that I used was the local one. Her name is Ellie, and she did a crazy good job. Like I didn't think like it would actually come out how I drew it up, but she like completely studied it out, put the spikes on, painted this incredible like logo on the back, and it came out perfect. So I've gotten really lucky with the gear designers that I've had.
Oh no, no, it's great, and it's yeah, like I said before, it suits you perfect. Yeah, I can't wait to see some other gear ideas you're probably gonna have. Now, so I'm gonna ask you a couple questions here. It's more like choose. All right. I'm trying to work out a game to play with people that I interview. I haven't come up with a title yet for it, but I'm just trying to see like what people would rather pick. It's like an A and B thing just to kind of see where they're at. So I'm just gonna ask you a bunch of random
God.
questions and we'll just go from here. If it sucks, it sucks. I apologize right now, but I tried that with Brittany Brooks, and I'm gonna try it right now. So it's just, and then we can expand on it. If I disagree with you, I'm going to ask you why. But I'm just trying to think of like a cool, fun game to lighten up the mood a little bit. Is that all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So it's going to be a little wrestling related, and there's going to be a bunch of random ones. It's not going to be too many. It's just like kind of pick and choose. So the first one is it who you choosing? All right, so here we go. Charlotte Flair or Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Monet?
I'll have to go with Charlotte Flair because she's the GOAT, you know?
Oh, she's the GOAT.
I would say she's definitely one of the GOATs for female wrestling.
Okay, one of the. Okay.
Yes, yes,
One of,
yes.
okay. All right. Next one. Bailey or Becky Lynch?
Bailey, she's my hometown girl.
Oh, okay. That should have been obvious, right? All right. The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Stone Cold.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. Flair or Hulk Hogan?
I'm gonna go with Flair.
Okay, Nature Boy. All right. Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart?
Shawn Michaels.
All right. Randy Orton or John Cena?
Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough one, man. I'm gonna go with Randy Orton.
That's a good choice. I prefer Orton too. Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins.
All right. We're kind of in the same realm here. Okay. Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy?
I'm gonna go with Jeff.
Okay. I figured you would probably say that. The Usos or the New Day?
Oh man. I'm gonna go with the New Day.
Okay. All right. Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Okay. Do you have any cats?
Yeah, I had two cats. One of them I had to give to my brother when I moved to Georgia for wrestling, and then my other one passed away, but he was great.
Okay. I used to have a couple cats. I think I'm more. I have a dog now, but I think I prefer cats. I just do. All right. I don't know if you're into cars, but I wrote this one down too. Ford or Chevy?
I have a Ford, so I'm gonna say Ford.
Okay. All right. See, that's good to know too. Pepsi or Coke?
I'm not a huge soda fan, but I would say Coke.
Okay, because I didn't know if you were like drank soda at all or anything like that. Deep dish pizza or New York style?
Oh man. I had actually only tried like authentic deep dish like a year ago or so, and I actually like fell in love with it. So I'm gonna say deep dish.
Okay, I grew up in the Midwest, so Chicago's like literally 45 minutes away. We're all about deep dish pizza here.
It's so good.
It's so good. It like the cheese, the bread, the sauce. I like New York style, but I prefer deep dish any day of the week. So no, it's good. I do like thin crust pizza sometimes, but I'll go with deep dish. Not sure if you listen to these bands, but there's another one I threw out there. Metallica or AC/DC?
I'm gonna say Metallica.
Okay, that's a good choice. All right, here's another one. Here's another band one. My Chemical Romance or Paramore?
I'm gonna go with My Chemical Romance for sure.
Okay. That's what I thought you were gonna say, but again, I'm just guessing here. I have no idea what you're gonna say. I just wrote a couple down. Now, I hate to go back to the pizza one, but pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
No, no,
Thank
no,
you,
no. It's
God.
never
Thank you, God.
allowed.
Thank you, God. All right, so I know a lot of people like pineapple on a pizza, but to me, as soon as you put the pineapple on a pizza, you kill it.
Yeah, you can't do
You
that.
cannot do that. No, no. But no, that okay. So that was all the questions. I hope that wasn't too painful. But that was just I
No,
just
that's
wanted to see
great.
what your thoughts were on just some random shit that I've written down and hope and thanks for playing along by the way. You seem like a good sport
I
about this
loved
stuff.
it.
So
It was fun. I like the quick questions. You don't have to think
okay.
too much. You
Shit,
just give
man.
out your answer.
Shit. If I knew that, I probably should have wrote down a couple more, but that was the list. That's all I got for you. Can you tell everybody, all the fans of Brooke Havok, where you're gonna be if you can, this weekend, where they're gonna find you? I know. Oh, by the way, I saw your merchandise today on that you posted on Twitter. By the way, um, you got merchandise coming, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay, yes. I kind of want a sticker. I want to stick.
Yeah.
I guess I got to buy the beanie, right, to get the sticker. Is that, is that how it works? Okay. All right. But yes, if you want to tell everybody where you're going to be this weekend, if you can, please, they would greatly appreciate it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I know you're very busy. So what's on the docket for Brooke Havok?
Yeah, you could catch me on the West Coast Friday. I'm gonna be at PPW wrestling Johnny Robbie. Saturday, I'm defending my SCW Women's Championship title against Inder at SCW. And then on Sunday, you can catch me on the East Coast. I'll be at the Baltimore Celeb Fest doing a signing. Um, yeah, and then I'll be on the East Coast for a week.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, so you're going west to East Coast, man. That's kind of a trip. So hopefully
Yeah.
that's going to be fun. That's going to be good because I know you're kind of making your rounds in the West Coast, and now the East Coast has got to get a little taste of Brooke Havok and what she's all about. So no, that's great. Hopefully one day you come to the Midwest, Chicago. Maybe that'd be good.
Yeah, that's definitely a goal for sometime for the rest of this year. Hopefully you'll catch me out there.
No, no, that's great. I think the Midwest. I'm a little biased here. I think the Midwest crowd, especially Chicago, is probably the best crowd for professional wrestling. I think we're the most passionate. We're the most into it. We're just love everything about it. I know the West Coast is good, but I'm just saying I think the Midwest crowd, Chicago crowd, I've been here my whole life, and I think we are probably the best crowd. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You
Yeah,
can defend the West. You
no,
can
they look
defend the West
crazy.
Coast. That's fine.
I feel like the West Coast and the Midwest right now are like two of the big booming spots for indie wrestling. And I see all the shows out there and they look crazy. Freelance looks like it goes crazy. I want to go to one of their shows, hopefully by the end of the year, and check it out. Black Label Pro, all of those seem super, super fun.
Yes, no, without a doubt. That's fantastic. Your socials, like what is your socials? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. What is all that stuff? I'm gonna put them in the link below and all that kind of stuff. But what is it, right?
Yeah, so I'm actually super lucky, guys. You guys could find me at Brooke Havok on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Uh, and then I have a pro wrestling tees site, prowrestlingtees.com/Brooke Havok. And also you could use code T20 Brooke Havok on all Redcon purchases and you'll get some money off.
Oh, that's actually really cool. I didn't know you're on Pro Wrestling Tees. That's actually pretty cool. That's really great.
I have
Nice.
I think 4 or 5 designs up there, and some of them have just been gifted to me by incredible fans, and they're great. So
Oh, okay, that's really cool. Oh, no, that's fantastic. I got to get me a Brooke Havoc t-shirt now too. So
hell
I
yeah,
love I
yeah.
love representing uh indie wrestlers, big name wrestlers. I just love all this kind of stuff. So I got to get me a Brooke Havoc t-shirt, and everybody else got to get a Brooke Havoc t-shirt too, and support you, support what you're doing. And thank you again for taking the time out. I know you're extremely busy. And congratulations on your success. Congratulations to your future success. I know you're going to do tremendous, not only in the West Coast, you're going to take over the East Coast, you go to the South, you're going to go to the Midwest, you're going to take over the whole country. And the journey's only beginning for you. It's only going to get better and brighter for you. And thank you very much for joining us today. Um, I am Neal Thomas. This is the Marking Out Network. It's been a pleasure talking to Brooke Havok. She is tremendous. She is charming. She's everything that you want in a professional wrestler, but more importantly, everything you want in a human being. So thank you very much, Brooke Havok. It was a pleasure talking to you. Till next time, I am out. That's the show. Bye bye.